Like I always say, I've been working out. I always say, continue to learn your history. Do not allow foreigners to write your history, including melanated foreigners. I'm going to really harp on that because we're not one global Negro. We're not the same. Our struggle here in the States are unique. And this is our land, our country, our fight. Do not allow someone outside tell you how to do your fight or who you are, or to come in to tether themselves onto your culture and then say they created it. Every aspect of our culture right now is being hijacked by fellow melanated people. And all of them not like that, but too many of them are. And it's really sickening and sad how individuals who say we have no culture, but all they do is want to hijack and steal our culture and our identity, and then tell us that we're foreigners in our own land, and tell us that we come from some damn West Africa in some dungeon and brought over in slave ship when most of our people are already here. The overwhelming number of our people are already here. I'm going to tell you this over and over again. Do not listen to these morons, these creepy ass Negroes tell you anything else. Continue to do your study, continue to do your research. You know, I was doing some reading yesterday, several hours, over in the Chicago lakefront. So, but I just want you brothers and sisters to understand that you have to take control of everything yours. You have to take control of everything yours. Because you don't take control of everything yours, it will be stolen from you. So you got to remember that. Do not allow foreigners to take your stuff. Do not allow people who basically fled their countries to tell you who you are and tell you about your history and your culture, or to hijack your history and culture and say that they created it, which is a damn lie. When you hear a mess that jazz music was created by, quote, Caribbeans or Afro-Latinos or Africans, blues music was created by Africans, R&B was created by Caribbeans, really? That's thievery. But then you have some self-hating Negroes who go along with it, or ignorant niggers. This is something that we're going to have to deal with. We're going to deal with the traitors amongst our midst. I've always said in the past where that when you go after them goofy white folks, the first line of defense is going to be the ignorant nigger. The first line of defense is the ignorant nigger. Because the ignorant nigger don't know no better. They've been trained a certain way to think and act that way. Most of these Negroes who've been so-called educated would not admit that they've been taught misinformation in all their fields. The sciences, history, the arts, everything they've been taught is misinformation. Because pale-skinned people created none of that stuff, but they've been conditioned. They go through all that memorization, go through all that studying, not to realize that everything they've learned and all that money they pay for this damn education has been a lie. They're well-groomed, manufactured niggers who know nothing. And this is why I don't want you, brothers and sisters, to go down that route. I want you to understand your history fully, and understand the history of the so-called Negro, black people. You want to do this ham, sham, whatever. That the people of your skin tone, history is not revolved around slavery. And I'm hearing these niggas, that's all they talk about is slavery. Our history goes beyond that. You're going to have to understand that. And there's many of our people who do not want to understand that. But you're going to have to understand your history goes beyond slavery. Some of our people are prisoners of war, but our history did not start with slavery. It did not start with slavery. You know, so we got to understand that. We have a rich, illustrious history, but it does not start with slavery. So when you hear Negroes constantly harping on slavery, and then you try to present them something opposite of that, and they try to basically go against that, that tells me right there that they're nothing but an agent, and they're a problem, not a problem solver. You cannot box off our history from 1619 to today. That is ignorant. 1619. There's so much documentation that shows you how people was here way before that. But these Negroes just gonna stick on 1619. It's sad and it's sick that these Negroes, that's all they do and that's all they talking about. But when you paid off and when you're a lackey, you do your job as a lackey to misinform. And that's what these Negroes are doing. They're misinforming us greatly. And it's hurting our people. It's hurting our communities because we don't truly know, excuse me, excuse me, I had to clear my throat. We don't know who we truly are. All right? We have some Negroes who insist on dating and marrying out. I tell you that's destructive. Because when you do that, you're helping to dilute or erase your lineage. You don't do that. We have to understand who we really are. We have to understand the great power and the great intellectual capabilities our ancestors have. And we need to channel that and then use it today to help grow a future. So we have to get out of this mess, out this Pan-African stuff, because we're not Africans. We come from the greatest culture here in America's man, from the greatest minds. But you're going to have to really open your eyes and start studying your real history. You're going to really have to study your real history. Once you start unlocking that key of studying your real history, you will really see the truth, man. Stop viewing yourself as inferior, saying that you're just a slave from Africa. And it took someone, excuse me, to bring you here. You were already here. You was already selling the seas. You was already stargazing, charting the skies, charting the stars, the movement of the stars, the movement of the sun, the moon. You were already doing that. Your ancestors were doing that. Your ancestors weren't in some little goofy, remote African village wearing little clothing and got captured and brought here. Excuse me. You were already here. And I'm really want to emphasize that wholeheartedly. You were already here. Do not listen to when these Negroes continue to push that African stuff. Then you need to challenge them, like the Gullah Geechee. Those are two different groups of people. They weren't Africans. They weren't Africans. Remember, Geechee comes from the old Geechee River. I showed you that. That comes from the old Geechee River. All you gotta take the O out and get Geechee. Come on, man. This mess saying that they're African, man. Everything we had, they want to Africanize everything. Give credit to someplace, somewhere else, instead of giving credit to where it naturally belongs, to the Aboriginal Negroes, black people here in America. So you gotta be weary of the tricks that's being played on you, man. Be weary of it. My voice is just hoarse a little bit this morning, but that's it. But brothers and sisters, I just want to say that real quick. I may make another video later on the day. I did one the other day. I may make another one. You know. But peace and love, brothers and sisters.